What if I told you that a single decision you make today could determine whether you retire wealthy or spend the rest of your life worrying about money? What if the difference between financial freedom and financial stress wasn't a six-figure salary, a lucky business idea, or even winning the lottery? What if the difference was something as small as $100 a month? That's less than what many people spend on takeout, coffee runs, or random online purchases they barely remember a week later. And yet, this small habit has quietly created thousands of millionaires. But here's the strange part: most people know about this strategy, and they still never use it. So the real question isn't whether it works. The real question is, why do so many people ignore the simplest path to building wealth? Today, we're going to break down exactly how investing just $100 a month could completely change your financial future. And, more importantly, why the people who start early end up miles ahead of those who wait. Take a moment and think about your relationship with money. For many people, it feels like a constant cycle. You work hard, you earn money, you pay your bills, maybe you save a little, but somehow it never feels like you're getting ahead. Month after month, the numbers barely seem to move. And if you're honest, there's always that small voice in the back of your mind asking, am I ever actually going to build real wealth? You're not alone. In fact, recent financial surveys showed that more than half of people cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense without going into debt. Think about that for a moment. A small car repair, a medical bill, a broken laptop, and suddenly, the entire financial system falls apart. This isn't just happening to people with low incomes, it's happening to people with good jobs, college degrees, and middle-class lifestyles. So what's going wrong? The answer is surprisingly simple. Most people spend their entire lives doing one thing: trading time for money. But wealthy people do something different. They make their money work for them. And the tool that makes that possible is something called compound growth. Compound growth is one of the most powerful forces in finance. In fact, it's so powerful that Albert Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. And yet, most people never experience its true power, because compound growth only works if you give it one thing: time. Let me show you what that actually looks like. Asterisk, imagine that, starting today, you invest $100 every month. Not thousands, not hundreds, per week, just $100. If you invested that money for 10 years, assuming an average market return, your total contributions would be $12,000, but your investment wouldn't stop there. Instead, it would grow to around $18,000. That means your money made $6,000. On its own, at first glance, that might not sound life-changing, and this is exactly where most people lose interest, because they're thinking about 10 years. But the real power of investing isn't about short time periods, it's about decades. Asterisk. Now imagine you keep investing that same $100 every month for 40 years. Your total contributions would be $48,000, but your investment account wouldn't stop at $48,000. Not even close. Instead, it could grow to over $350,000. Think about that. You personally invested less than $50,000, but you ended up with 7 times that amount. So, where did the extra $300,000 come from? It came from your money, doing something most people never allow it to do: grow over time. Asterisk. This is the hidden difference between people who build wealth and people who struggle financially forever. It's not always intelligence, it's not always talent, and it's definitely not always income. It's time in the market. Because while you're working for money, your investments are working 24 hours a day. Even when you're sleeping, even when you're on vacation, even when you're not thinking about money at all. Asterisk. But if this strategy is so simple, why doesn't everyone do it? The answer has nothing to do with math. It has everything to do with psychology. We live in a world that constantly encourages spending. New gadgets, New clothes, new experiences, new upgrades. And every time you spend money on something temporary, you're also giving up something invisible. Future wealth. That $100 dinner isn't just $100, it could be $700 or more in future investment growth. But because that growth happens slowly and invisibly, most people never notice what they're giving up. Asterisk, this is why many successful investors use something called investment automation. Instead of relying on discipline every month, they simply set up an automatic transfer. The money gets invested before they even have a chance to spend it. They treat investing the same way they treat paying rent or a utility bill. It's just something that happens automatically. And over time, something interesting begins to happen. You start watching your investment account grow. At first, it's small. Then it becomes noticeable. Then it becomes exciting. Because for the first time in your life, your money is actually working for you. Asterisk, think of investing like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the beginning, the snowball is tiny. It barely seems to grow. But as it rolls, it starts picking up more snow. And eventually, it becomes massive. Investing works the exact same way. The hardest part is simply getting the snowball started. And that first $100 investment might be the push that starts everything. Asterisk, now imagine what life looks like when your investments reach $100. At that point, even a modest market return could generate $10,000 in growth in a single year. Your money is now producing wealth without any additional work from you. Eventually, your investments might grow large enough to cover major expenses, your rent, your mortgage, your lifestyle. And suddenly, work becomes something you choose to do, not something you have to do. That's the true power of long-term investing. Not just wealth, freedom, asterisk. But here's the part many people struggle to accept. Every year, you delay starting this process. You lose something you can never get back. Time, and time is the single most important ingredient in compound growth. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Because that first $100 investment might seem small today, but decades from now, it could be the decision that changed your entire financial future.